another edition of Geek Culture Unboxed. I am Lou.
Diego.
What were you saying?
I was gonna say literally.
Why literally?
Shoot, the issue that we had taking out these two things out of their boxes. Man, it was a struggle. We're like, what we were doing, and then ninja.
It felt like a Ninja Warrior competition. So we got two big boxes. We're talking like 4-foot tall boxes, 18 inches wide. What is it? 18 inches wide and 24 inches deep.
Yeah, well,
those are about the measurements. So anyway, so Diego and I are on one side each, and literally having to jump the box up just to get it out of the packaging. But while we're on the packaging, let's talk about it. In my opinion, this is the best styrofoam insert that I have seen out there. Next comes close is First Four Figures.
Yeah.
Best styrofoam insert. If you guys aren't familiar, this is Elite Creatures Collectible. Now, we hadn't done one before. We did do the CinemaCat Jason, which was partly produced with ECC, but this is the first in-studio Elite Creatures Collectibles. And so for Diego, I've actually had this since 2015, but we never did a review. We weren't doing reviews then. And this bad boy came in this week. So now I have the set. I had to get the set. I missed the Dark Zenoid. I might pronounce that wrong. Forgive me. I didn't get that one because I wanted Lisker more than I wanted the Zenoid. But now that I look at it, it's a pretty cool bust. The difference in price, this one was $12.50 shipped. This one was $1,800 shipped. There's a pretty cool, in regards to production, this is number 58 of 1,000 made. And I believe they all sold out. They only made 150 of these. So this is number 15 of only 150. And if I remember right, I could be wrong, but the way I think ECC works is they did it by pre-order. So however many were ordered, that's all that was produced. So if only 150 were ordered, that's it. That's all they produced. That's why it was such a low number, not a higher production number.
And I'm just wondering, maybe because people are more in love with the Guyver, or or just they weren't too fond of Lisker, or what.
Well, it's interesting. Let's use Hellraiser as an example. Everybody's gonna buy Pinhead, but if you make Barbie, they'll buy her. If you make Chatter, they'll buy him. If you make Butterball, they'll buy him. Same thing I feel here. I bought Lisker. If they do a Striker, I'll probably buy it. If they do one other character, I'll probably buy it. Like I said, I didn't buy the Dark Zenoid. That one I wasn't familiar with, but I was familiar with this. I thought this character was really cool in the movie. And it was just a cool big bust. It's huge, guys.
Yeah, and I was telling Lewis, I said, for me, this is the most impressive bust that I've ever come across. Now, I've seen the Predator bust, and I've seen other, but the thing is, it's just it's just the scale, the size of them they're massive. As you can see, just like this is, it covers basically half his body right there. That's to include the base. So
talk about the matching bases.
Oh yeah. So again, like Lewis said, this is he got this in 2015, 5 years ago, and this just came out and it just got delivered on Monday, and you can see matching bases, which was very impressive. Like where John and I were impressed with, because they kept the same base. It's not like some other bases like over here. I got Optimus. Man, some of these bases are just huge. They go in, they go out. Hello, but. But it's just those, you never get the same bases. So with this, you get the same base, and what's so cool about it, to be after 5 years, the exact same thing was really impressive.
The quality, you don't see that. And then like Diego said when we were talking off camera, companies tend to change things. And he was trying to point that out with Prime 1. I don't like Prime 1's Transformer base.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate that Blackout is coming on a base like that, and he's only 32 inches, so the base is like 6 inches of that. I dislike that. But this is really cool. I'm a friend of Steve Wang's. It's a pleasure to know him and have talked to him. We were talking about this before he even made it. I was like, hey, you got to do a Guyver figure. He did that, and I said, are you going to do a 1/3? They did a 1/3, and then I had asked what else was coming, and then Lisker, and I told him I'd order that. So it's really cool to know someone that's such a significant part of our upbringing and pop culture, man. Yeah,
and so we'll get to the bases again. As you can see, this base has an AC adapter, right? AC adapter, AC plug-in, and for the eyes light up. On this one, it doesn't. So I can't remember. It's been a while since the Guyver came out in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s. I can't remember the exact year it started. Mark Hamill. But do you remember his eyes lighting up? Okay, if it didn't, then it's accurate. That's probably why they didn't do the light up.
That's why they didn't do the light up.
Yeah. So,
but the cat eyes on it just look sick, dude. The detail, and I think they're done individually. I think they may be glass. I don't have all the details, like, you know, what exactly material this is made out of. I forgot to. We do have the measuring tape here, but I didn't want to do it. Let me see if I can see it while John's getting a close up.
But as you can see right here, it's just the scales. The scales on this bad boy right here. Really good job, guys. The paint work is just really great. What's it? What, phenomenal?
I was like, where's the word?
No, I'm digging it. As you can see, that as John pointed out, you can see someone actually put their time into it. It's not like they was put in the machine. It looks like someone actually spent their time on it, airbrushed it, and took the time out of the day to do it right.
You know what I'd add on is, most of these aren't machine produced. Most of them sit on a line in a factory. What I feel like Diego's trying to say is that, ECC's crew took a little more time to make sure to get the detail. The really cool thing about Lisker's sculpt and paint is, to me, his texture looks like a crocodile. I thought that was really cool. You get the little individual dots and the orange and the spikes. Really cool paint job. I like what they did on certain parts of the black. They gave it like a white outline. I thought that was kind of cool. Almost tiger stripe-ish. John's over here looking at the Guyver bus. I mean, the Guyver bus, again, it was the first bus. Very impressive. One thing I did want to point out is the difference of pieces. So the Guyver bus is actually 3 pieces. You've got the horn that comes out. You've got the bust, and then you got the base, where Lisker is just the bust and the base. The paint on this one is, again, it's interesting. It's got the purple texturing for the in-between, what did you call that? The in-between... the webbing. Yeah.
Membrane.
The membrane. Yeah, the membrane.
Diego had pointed that out. He would have liked it to have been more lifelike, maybe kind of a rubbery texture, but I told him, as cool of an idea that is, it would deteriorate over time, and that's probably why Steve Wang and crew decided to go against it. But nonetheless, it's very cool, very well done. I asked both John and Diego, I said, what do you guys think of these? And they say it's a high 9. Both busts are high 9.
Yeah, between 9 and 10. And again, we're going to give it a slight, between 9 and 10, but what knocks it, we were talking about, like, what knock do you see? And the knock is just the size of it. That's it. But again, that's just nitpicking, and I hate to do it. It's just, if you got to have the room, you got to have the space, and not only that, the house for it. If you don't have it, then I totally recommend it. Think about before you purchase. Think about before you purchase. Make sure you have somewhere where to put this. All right?
I'm working on it. I got my eye on a bigger house.
Yeah.
The coolest thing about the Guyver bus is that the eyes light up and the orb inside his head lights up. That's one of the coolest features.
Yeah.
When I first got it, I had it briefly displayed, and then I put it up. I'm always rotating my displays out. Like Diego said, you got to have somewhere big enough and cool enough to put these. I've got somewhere where I can put them side by side, but then I'd have to rotate out what I have there. Yeah. And I got to think about that because I like what I already have up. I am working on it where I can actually have a steady. That's actually my business room where I do my work, but I also have everything on display. I'm working on that. I mentioned that in a previous review. And once we have that, we'll do a 360 tour. You guys will get to see everything that I have in the collection. Pretty cool. I've been collecting for quite a long time. What else you got?
No, like I said, I love the paintwork right here. They mix in the black and the purple to give it that, I guess, I don't know if it's a lighting work or not, just to make it more accurate. But it's just that purple. I didn't even catch that at first, but it just gives it that realistic look as much as they can. I mean, but what I like is on this paint right here, if you can see all the little indentations, the marbling or not, to make it look like he's actually got like this,
the armor,
like the armor, the costume on, and it makes it look that imperfection. Rather than make it look sleek, it actually has all the all that imperfection, which kind of makes it look real. And again, it's not cracked. It's not cracked. This is actually on purpose. It's part of the suit. It gives it that imperfection.
You know, as we were pulling this out, I want to say one more thing before I go to that. These busts are heavy. For the Guyver, it's all in his base. For Lisker, it's all in the upper body. These things are heavy. Some of the heaviest things that we've ever done with, next to Doomsday. Doomsday was probably heavier than both of these guys. And then Devastator, when it comes in, is going to be extremely heavy.
Yeah. We're waiting for that one.
We're all waiting for Devastator.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a day. So we were talking about it. Diego said, you know what? This film needs to be remade. I don't disagree. As cool as it was, as cool as the characters were, the story needed more to it.
Yeah, because when I saw it, I didn't get off to it. Like not like my other friends back in the day. I mean, they would always say, "Hey, did you check out that movie? Check out that movie." I checked it out. I was like, "Well, I didn't get off to it," because I was so used to seeing movies like Aliens, Predator, and I see this one, and it kind of reminded me of a B movie. I was like, well, what do y'all like about it? I guess they were liking about the creatures, but I just wanted it more serious. I'm more of a realist. You know, like I love realism in the movies, and I think this movie can be done with the right director. And that's what we were talking about. We're like, which directors would you see today doing this film, remaking it to give it justice
and keeping the practical effects? That's the most important thing.
And the one that comes to mind is Guillermo del Toro.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. I mean, you see what he did with Blade 2.
Hellboy. Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, there you go.
Labyrinth.
Yeah, and then of course Pacific Rim. You know, he just gives it that realistic gives it that realistic feel to it, and you just know that he'll do that justice. Especially with this creature right here.
Lisker.
Yeah, Lisker. You just know that he can do something with this right here.
And not change it up. We're not looking to change it up. We're looking to keep the same thing, maybe modernize it a little.
Yeah.
But that's it. And of course, Steve Wang would be attached. If you don't have Steve Wang, you don't go forward.
Yeah.
Period.
So that was our number one. If you can't get him, I was thinking Len Weissman. Now I know some of y'all may like what Len Weissman, but if y'all haven't seen Underworld, take a look at it. If you see the original Underworld, those lichens, those wolves. Man, he actually used practical people in costumes, and that's what I loved about it. And then right behind, and then we were talking about, well, if you can't get those two, who else would you see? Cautiously, I said Luc Besson, because Luc Besson is the one that does The Fifth Element. He did recently. He did Valerian.
Valerian?
Yeah, Valerian, and what was this? I forgot what.
I don't
know. He did that movie. And he does those creatures in those movies. I like about it. But what I don't like about his direction is sometimes he has the silliness inside his movies, and that's what I don't like about. That's just me. But if you want that, if you want to go back to the early '90s and have that, I don't know that.
Okay, well, hold on.
I'm going off from.
So like the 80s. Like, let's look at Wonder Woman, right? Wonder Woman tried to go back to the 80s and film it there. The only thing that we want that look from the 90s is just the suit. Maybe the feel of the film, not much. Don't change it much. Don't try to go back and recreate the 90s. But just give us a modern version with a better story. And this is the thing. And that's what geek culture is about. If you do it right, somebody that doesn't even know these characters, like Diego didn't read The Guyver, I didn't read The Guyver growing up. I saw this movie, I instantly loved the characters. I can't say that I love the movie, but I love the characters and I love how they interacted with each other.
Yeah.
Diego's, basically the same thing. Cool design. I thought it had potential. It didn't have the story. That's what geek culture is. If you do it right, you can pull somebody in that's not even familiar with that. Yeah, but you got to knock it out of the park.
Or maybe there's a director that just loved it, maybe he was a younger kid, like back in our day, and he loved it. Maybe just do it justice.
Ooh.
So someone that we're not even thinking of.
Now I'm not recommending him for a live action of The Guyver, but I'll give an example. Robert Rodriguez, when he did his episode of Star Wars, right? I'm sure Rodriguez is a geek for Star Wars, but he knocked that out of the park.
Or you know what? And then what he did with Alita, knocked it out of the park.
That was a badass movie.
Yeah, knocked it out of the park. He did justice. He gave a shit. That's all we want is someone to give a shit about these characters that we loved. Again, I didn't really love the movie, but these designs had potential. But these designs had potential. I saw more of a Power Rangers right here, but when these characters I saw in the movie, I said, There's potential there. It just needs to be done right.
There you go.
That's all it is.
That's all we're saying. So we believe that there could be a Guyver live action in the future with the right director and Steve Wang attached. So before we close out, we'll do what we usually do in the beginning. Let's measure real quick. So each base is approximately 12.5 inches in diameter. Lisker, from the bottom of his base to the top of his bulbous head, is 27 inches. The Guyver, from the bottom of his base to the top of his, is just about 35 inches. So again, you're gonna need, and then the width, I'm sorry, I didn't do on Lisker. The width on Lisker, almost 22 inches. And on Guyver, same thing, almost.
About 21 inches.
Those 21 inches. So you're gonna need somewhere open because these guys aren't gonna fit in a Besta. I don't even know if it'll fit in a big Besta.
Yeah, and when we talk about Bestas, for those that are not familiar, the IKEA furniture. You know, that's what it is. You know,
aren't those the single Bestas?
Yeah, the single Bestas.
The ones that we have at the bottom, those are the single Bestas.
Yeah.
You see that it'll fit on top of that, but not inside of that. But they do have cabinets that you can put a shelf on. That maybe you can have one up top and one at the bottom.
Or not, like, you know, for some of you carpenters, make your own.
There you go.
Yeah, make your own.
Have it custom made.
Yeah.
Some collectors are there. I was looking at a guy's post the other day on Facebook, and he had turned his like whole garage into a 2-level shelf. I was like, oh, that's gonna look cool, dude.
Yeah,
it's gonna look. There's some cool designs out there.
But again, good work right here, guys. Good work. These are quality, statues, busts, whatever you want to call them. But they are a solid 9.5. I'm gonna give it a 9.5. It's just the one knock is just the size. That's it.
I got no knocks. I think these are the best collectibles that we have come across. Best
bust. I've seen plenty of busts. But these are.
I would hope so in your time.
Yeah. But these are the best bust figures. Put it that way. I've come across. So showstoppers. I would say, like, imagine if we were to do this at put this at a show. Like, what the hell is that?
Well, all the Guyver geeks, all the anime geeks would come out, and we love that. We love when we can attract other people. We're not just Marvel. We're not just DC. We're not just Transformers, even though that's all you see in Diego's.
That's me.
We're into. I'm into everything.
Yeah.
I'm into everything, and we welcome you guys. So yeah, I can't wait to have this up at display, and you guys come by and you're like, oh my God, the Guyver. That's right, we have the Guyver. Steve Wang, ECC, keep knocking it out of the park, man. I'm watching every release you have. I was on the site today that you guys had this cool looking little dragon that I was looking at, so I'm kind of considering that, but keep bringing the art, man. It is beautiful. Beautiful texture right here. I'm happy to own it. It's a privilege to own it. Number 15 of only 150 made. You geeks, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.